All right, next up is our pick for Best Director. We were pretty much, I think, on the same page as this last year.
I don't think we did this category last year.
Did we not do it last year?
I think we touched on it.
Yes, okay. Well, we're actually going to do it this year because I know it's an important category for you.
Yeah.
So why not? Okay. And here are the nominees. Darren Aronofsky for Black Swan. David O. Russell for The Fighter. Tom Hooper for King's Speech. David Fincher for The Social Network. And the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan, for True Grit. All right. Here we go. And here it is. David Fincher for The Social Network.
Yes.
All right.
Again, if any of these directors win, it is very much deserved. All the performances and the feeling of all of the movies really, was very strong, very prominent.
Absolutely.
And the vision was clearly seen in all of them. The thing that I like about David Fincher, and he a couple years back it was a couple years ago. He did The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
And both movies really had that kind of like solemn kind of feel to them, even though they were two very different films. I think with a movie like The Social Network and a movie about, essentially about Facebook, but really more about, the people that just are involved in Facebook, to bring that solemn, kind of reflective feel to it is not an easy task. When you have something that's big and huge and very technical and lots of technical terms, he made it understandable. And a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't get it, I couldn't follow it the first. But that's kind of the point. You're not really supposed to follow it. No. You're just kind of, when I saw it, I was just kind of basking in the awe of what was happening and, the chaos, but, the control that was happening around me. And the fact that the movie jumps around a lot, present day, past, couple different storylines, different people, it was all still really reeled in, and
it never loses its goal.
It never loses its goal. Yeah. There's one clear direction, and it goes in that direction, and it never slows down. It builds momentum as it keeps going, and then it climaxes right at the right spot, and that's all credit to David Fincher. So. And
the market for the movie is that when you want to see more, you actually just want to see more from this movie.
Yeah.
But it gave us everything it possibly could.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Here's my pick.
All right. David Fincher, The Social Network.
You know what? I said this on my 10 best the year special. Fact is, there are just some movies that just remind you of why you love cinema so much.
And The
Social Network was that movie for me.
Again, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that movie's gonna win.
And again, it's just such a tremendous film. Just everything, every single little articulative detail.
Yeah. All of the acting. Jesse Eisenberg, unfortunately, was the only one that got nominated, but I was a huge supporter of Andrew Garfield. Even Justin Timberlake.
Tremendous, yes.
So good.
Yes, absolutely. Rooney Mara, everybody involved in this film really made it work.
Whether it was a small role or a big role, they all were significant, and that really came across. And again, that's credit to David Fincher.
This is one of the most unrelenting directions of the year. David Fincher really was just relentless in his goal to achieve something special with this movie. But it's not as if he was trying to just make a film to be recognized for the Oscars. He was trying to make a great film, also to etch his legacy as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And every filmmaker, every great filmmaker, or every famous filmmaker has that one movie that just stands out. And I think Fincher has more good movies in him. I don't doubt that for a second.
Yeah, for sure.
But in my opinion, I just don't see how he can probably make some of the best movies of the next decade. But again, I think this will be always one that's the staple.
And the thing too is that with the content of this film, again, like I said, it's pretty much about Facebook, but like, how can I say this? It's easy to make a movie about Facebook.
It is.
Okay, you talk about how it started, you talk about how big it's grown and everything, but that wasn't the focus of this film, and I think a lot of people miss that. Is that this movie was about the people behind Facebook. Facebook was just the tool that was used to kind of wedge in between them. But it wasn't even the website, it was the people that were involved with the website.
It was the ambition behind it.
Yeah, it was about two best friends and what happens when something gets in between them. That something happened to be Facebook, Justin Timberlake, a girl, another girl, other people, other things, other wants, other needs. That's what this movie was really about. And that's why it was so good, because that came across. It wasn't just, Facebook, generation, people, whatever.
I thought it could have been another middle of the road teenage drama when I first saw the preview.
Exactly,
for this film.
and that's what surprised me. I kind of went in thinking, okay, well, this might just be a movie about Facebook. But it wasn't. It was a movie that defined this generation for filmmaking, for quality, and, you know, just the content.
And then they use a foreground, Facebook, as another generation defining a social networking site to help it
not just the network,
along.
but the social part of it.
Exactly.
He made this, I mean, the closing scene is the perfect example of that.
Yes,
the reason why he brought, for goodness sake, he brought it back to where it all began.
Yes.
And that was the perfect ending.
Almost,
it came full circle. After all of this huge, big build, running, race, it kind of just slowed down, stopped, and brought it right back to the beginning.
Absolutely.
That is what made this film so great. At the end, you're sitting there like, you're still a person. You might be a billionaire, you might have made the best website, the most successful website in all of history, but you're still a person, and that's what brought, so good.
It's also and that ties into what his lawyer said to, or the one lawyer there said to him. And you know what? Another thing about this film too is there's shades of gray. There is no clear black and white of who the good guys or the bad guys really are, because you have a case for all of them.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the thing. And was Zuckerberg really the bad guy? In some cases, I think he was, but in other cases, on the other hand, I don't think he was. I think he was very much in the right of some things. But really, it's something. It's a movie that you could really debate for hours on end with your friends.
And it's definitely, you know, as an aspiring filmmaker myself, I see this movie and that's what I aspire to. That kind of, you know, detail-oriented filmmaking. You know, very character-driven, very people-oriented.
Fincher made it happen. He really made this.
A lot of respect for him.
All right, coming up next is our pick for Best Animated Feature.